Do not worry, the cops are here. How's everyone doing? Welcome back to a Friday episode of Alpha 16 Multiplayer. So we actually managed to figure out, my mic's on, right? Yes. We actually managed to figure out how to fix the spawning problems on the server. What we have to do is actually literally go and Pac-Man, welcome to the channel. We have to go and kill all on the server because for some reason it thinks there's a ton of zombies alive when there actually isn't. So whatever, it's fixable. So we don't have to worry about that crap anymore. So we can play multiplayer, no problem. Now I'm actually gonna go ahead and get connected to the server while we're talking here. And yes, guys, the server is still passworded. It will be passworded until we're stable and we have the map set up. When stable drops, we'll actually have to go in ahead and set up the server, and then we'll open it up from there. I learned a lot of things going around the first time, so I'm not repeating them this time. Let's go ahead and drop into the game here, guys. Cheers as well, too, to everybody. yeah. Delicious coffee. Delicious coffee. That's what's gonna keep me running here today. Whew. No one hates console. Anyways, what time is it? Oh, it's 2200 on day 41. When is Feral? Feral hordes are expected tomorrow. Oh shit. Looks like we're gonna be having some trouble. Oh, whoa, did all this stuff... Oh, all this whole building's respawned again, guys. We can go ahead and reloot everything again. Oh, that's sick. That is so sick. Oh, shit. Right before nighttime as well.
Funny guy, huh?
Okay, let's get rid of these spawns before anything else. I'm gonna bash him in the head. Come here, buddy. Oh, that one woke up. Ooh, that was weird. He did a little bit of a move. Holy, what the fuck? They're all over the goddamn place. Maybe I fixed the spawns too much. Oh boy, this is gonna be a fun night. Here we go. We'll make them come up and come across these spikes, I guess. There we go. Okay, you go dying too. There we are. How about you? You die as well, buddy. Okay, we gotta get these other two here before nightfall. Oh shit. Oh shit. It's like nightfall. Oh, and I don't have a thing up here. We're in trouble. This was a bad time to log on. What's he doing? Is he not running? Why aren't you running? You're supposed to run. Oh, there he goes. Ooh, it's a little not very responsive. That was hilarious. I was not expecting him to fall like that. Alright, well this is terrifying. It's nighttime and we're getting a whole bunch of sleeper spawns up here. Whew. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. We're good. We're good to go. What I'm going to do is actually stop the preview here. I might be getting a little bit of lag from that as well too. Okay. Holy crap. Hey. Oh, it's like, where did all my torches go? I must have stuck them in the storage. Are the torches in the storage? No? Where the fuck did they all go? Hey Cody, what's up, man? We did do a fresh start, dude. It's been like a day since the update dropped. Oh, ouch. Whoops. I guess there's still spikes left there. Dang it. Dang it, Bobby. Looks like the spikes actually break down quite quickly now. Wow. Okay, so like the one thing I do like about the sleepers is it doesn't make night looting and buildings safe anymore. It used to be safe, not so much now. We got a whole bunch of basics and stuff to do though. I just got up to the top of this building last stream, and we got to get settled in here. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna break down these zombie bodies so I can make more torches. I don't remember exactly what I did with them. Here we go. We'll get the shiv going on. Love to stay, but I have to go to work. Oh, that sucks. Well, I hope you can come out Saturday, man, when we do the longer stream. So I was thinking, I don't know how many of you guys are Canadians in here. But I was thinking of, I want to go to Wonderland this summer. I have not been to Wonderland in forever, and they've gotten some sick ass rides since. I actually used to work there when I was 18. I was a lifeguard. Yeah, that's right. I did like the whole classic friggin' teen movie thing, and I was a lifeguard when I was 18 at Wonderland. But aside from that, I would love to go there again this summer, and I was thinking it would actually be a lot of fun to have like a meet and greet at Wonderland. Because it's in Toronto. It's very accessible for a lot of people. So I think that would be a ton of fun. Maybe try to start organizing, maybe getting enough people together. We can get a group discount and shit. Are you kidding me? I got no fat off that? Really? Alright, I'm gonna have to walk around with a torch in my hand here. Let's get that up. Right on. Cool. Okay, so the gun safe and stuff is still locked. This is where all my stuff is stashed. Oh, we got a zombie body here. Let's see if this one will give us some fat.
Get this guy, funny guy.
It looks like they lowered the chance to get fat from bodies. Holy crap, what the hell? Not a single one has dropped fat yet. That is so weird. Whatever. It is what it is. Oh, I don't have that one yet. Oh, sick. Okay. And I don't have the Spike Club either? I'll read that as well then too. And guys, I am so sorry. For some reason, my thing doesn't update live. Dakota Parrish, welcome to the channel. You too, Grim Reaper. Thanks for the follows, guys. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read that one too. And bam. Where's all the fat at? This is unfair. So what I've done is I've actually gone up and we're on the Hella platform. What's in here? It should re-loot. There we go. Nice. Nice. I think I already know those ones. Yeah, but I'm going to hold on to them anyways.
Get this guy, funny guy,
Take Mimi, it's called animal fat for a reason. You do realize it drops off the zombies, right?
Get this
For a
guy,
reason,
funny
because
guy,
it's fat. Let's refresh here. Venom, welcome to the channel. Zachary, welcome to the channel. Thanks for the follows. Oops, that's a vending machine. I can't loot that. Here we go.
Get this guy, funny guy.
Hey, Sirius, how are you? How you doing? All right, so yes, follows will be a little hard for me to keep up with, guys.
Get this guy, funny guy.
Because of that. Wait, let's refresh that. Am I actually getting them live now? Nope. Digital and Daniel, welcome to the stream, guys. You too, Venom. I think I shouted you out already, but anyways, thank you very much. Can you turn the brightness up, please? No, this is not Minecraft, dude. If you don't like it, you can move on. It's 7 Days to Die. It's supposed to be dark. It's supposed to be scary. That's the whole thing about the game, dude. You don't turn a horror game gamma up. That's actually pretty fucking lame. I hate it when people do that. I mean, when people do it just for videos. Do it on your own playthrough. I can give a crap, but you won't ever see me do it. It's all part of the game. Okay, so we got to build a campfire here. Oh, you know what? I should actually do my basics. Let's put down some wood frames, and then we'll go from there. What I might do is actually just follow the outline of this place. I think that would work. Breen and the Nightbot, welcome to the channel, guys. Thanks for the follows. The Nightbot. Oh my god, that brings back so many memories of Twitch. Holy crap. Welcome to the dark side. Yes, we all here enjoy 7 Days to Die for what it's for. Being dark and immersive. You had like 40 strippers? Cool, man. What about in game? Oh, the bot's not active? Oh, it's not connected. My bad. Sorry, guys. 1 second here. I'll get that connected. Why are you not connected, Fussbot? Oh, you know what happened? I connected Fussbot this morning when I got up, and YouTube went down. Like, the whole YouTube site was, like, fucked. There we go. It's connected now. You guys should be fine. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, shit. This is live? Yup. We're live, Crazy Minecrafter.
Get this guy, funny.
Yeah, I can't stand it when people turn up the brightness just so you could like see it better like in video and in stream. What I do for my playthroughs usually is if like, especially on the overnights, I don't do much. Oh shit, did I just waste a whole ton of my wood? I did too. On the overnights when you don't do much is I usually just skip them. But when I'm streaming, I absolutely refuse to because it's my favorite part of the game. Oh, I was so choked on console when they changed it to this darkness on console. And then all the console people complained because it wasn't bright enough for them. And then they increased the brightness, and you can literally walk around at night on console and see everything. It's ridiculous. I do not want any of that. So we need to make a campfire as well, too. There we go. I wanted to wait until we actually had the quest to do it to make it. We can start getting some stuff whipped together here. Bam. Okay. I does need...
Get this guy, funny guy, huh?
I does need some lumps of coal. We'll burn those suckers. Here we are. Stick our tools in. Get our coal going. Okay, now what do we have that we can cook or just generally use in the fireplace here? We do have some bottled murky water. We can make some bottled water. Oh, I can also burn the gas barrels as well, too. Those actually make for really good burning. Let's make some bottled water. That'll keep us busy for a few minutes. Hey, what's up, Miss Hat? How you doing, man? So hyped I'm watching on my phone and a TV. Cool, man. No, I haven't played Navigaine since I started 7 Days to Die. Random Gen is where it's at. Navigaine is a good starting map if you're just starting out the game because everything's static, you know where everything is. And I need to turn off the notifications on my phone. Stop bugging my people. There we go. Awesome. My bad. Oh, my phone can go crazy sometimes. Okay, so we got our campfire going. We killed the spawns that were nearby. Oh, let's spend some points. Let's get some points going here. Okay. Weaponsmithing. Should probably actually buy some in there. Now we only have 2 points available. Misc crafting. This is new. They added this in the newest build. The Misc crafting is an actual purchasable skill now. Craft anything from the Misc crafting group faster. Gain skill by crafting and repairing items from this group. Gain skill by crafting and repairing items from this group. So why would I buy points in this? I don't even know. I gotta take a look at that Misc crafting thing. That's really weird. Like really weird. Huh. Wow.
Get this guy.
Okay. So night times now that we don't have to spam craft anymore are a little different. That's okay though. What I think I'm gonna do to go around that is at night times I'm gonna do all my building, and then at daytime I'm gonna do my running around and all my looting and stuff. Make some tea. Oh, coffee's delicious. I'm having myself some delicious coffee. Hey, what's up, Mr. Biggs? How you doing? Yes, guys, if you have any questions about console, go to the forums, guys. All I do is pass information from the forums to you. I have no knowledge whatsoever of what's happening. I have as much as you have access to. The only reason I do make the console update videos is so you guys don't have to constantly check the forums. You know what I mean? Like a video comes out, oh, hey, there's an update. Cool. I'll watch a video and then I'll go check out the forums. Actually, I seen a whole ton of new people on the friggin' forums, and that's pretty slick. I went over there yesterday, and good God, there's a whole bunch of new people signed up. I'm like, yes, that is what you do. Bam, awesome. Oh, wish I had some damn fat. That would be nice. And we need to keep the cloth on us because I'm gonna have to make some torches on the fly. I guess I left them all down below, and we have some duct tape so I can make anything I need. We have enough leather to make... Ooh, actually, do I have enough stuff to make... Oh, wait, no, I don't have clay. I need to get some... Wait, you don't need clay for bellows. What am I thinking? Leather, wood... Yeah, we have enough stuff. We have 20 leather. Some short iron pipes. We'll make the bellows, and then if I remember, if we get down to the bottom, because I have to go down to the bottom of this building now, make a ladder, get back, or make a ladder to get up to the top, up the side of the building, and then I'm gonna go back down and collect some goods, and hopefully we can get that all done before next night cycle. I literally joined the game during the night cycle. Damn it. I gotta get rid of all these things too. I hate these noisemakers when you run them over and they freaking make noise. Stupid noisemakers. Oh, look at that. Some of them are making glass and some of them are making paper. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I could have used a wrench actually to scrap down some stuff. Is that going to re-loot? No, we already looted it. I'm actually going to collect all of this stuff up here because it seems every time I'm going to log on, it's going to be all reset anyways for me. So that's kind of sick. The benefits of playing on the multiplayer server. Let's get up this way. Okay, we'll turn this off as well here too. We don't need it going. Okay, so the bellows is in there, the glass is in there. We just need the clay, eh? Yeah, 350. I actually need to make... Oh, wait. You know what I should be doing right now? I should be making a club here. Why? Oh, I have no iron on me. Here we go. What do I need to make the iron reinforced club? Okay, 100 iron. That's not hard. We need to make an iron club. There we go. We'll get that going. Bam. I'm going to scrap this one. And my tools are fine. I can only make max 50 tools, so... the bow, I don't even have any feathers, so it's not a big deal. Literally, what we did was we ran toward the city, and then I slowly looted it on my way up. Now I gotta reloot it on my way back down, but it'll be much quicker because I've already broken all the boxes open, so not a big deal. What's up, buddy? That took a little bit of reaction time. Don't you be hitting my box. That's not cool. Oh, look, I got some pants. I can't wait to get a pantsuit together. I'm going to walk around all dapper in the end times. So we got pants. What do we have so far here? We got the pants and the shirt. I still need the shoes. Oh, and I'm definitely going to wear a blue flannel or like a flannel shirt under my suit jacket. You know damn right. All right, guys, let's go on our journey here. Isn't that beautiful? Like that view distance of the buildings and shit. I love it. Love it, love it. Alright, let's get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna go back down through this hole we came up. I can't wait for the update on console. I can't wait to do the Let's Play on console, honestly. Yeah, the sleeper spawns are a little overkill right now, but they're working on it. They're working on fixing it. Oh, there we go. That took a second to reloot. That was actually a little awkward. Okay, so we're gonna loot all these boxes up again. I'm gonna just grab everything that's in them and then reloot them here. Oh, look at that. Ooh, 44 iron plus 19 bars. That's actually pretty cool. Now what I'll do is just throw anything out that... Ooh, what's this? Shotgun slug schematic? That's cool. I've never seen one of those before. Jaybird, holy crap, with $100 friggin' super chat, man. You're insane. Okay, I gotta get rid of the zombie here, and then I'll totally acknowledge that, dude. Want me to go to Cedar Point instead? Oh, dude, man. I wish I could, honestly. But traveling in the States is very expensive as a Canadian. Like, incredibly expensive. But thanks for the fucking huge drop, dude. Holy shit. This is... Die already. These guys are actually pretty tough. Here we go. If you guys watch my most recent actual live, like recorded video, we had some utility zombie workers tearing down a building here. It was actually pretty sick. When do you think they will update console? I'm not even answering that question this time around, honestly. Because I gave you guys an estimated date last time, and you guys jumped down my throat when it didn't happen. Now I know why the fun pimps don't even fucking bother saying anything. Hey Dave, what's up? Jay, can you adopt me? That's hilarious. I can't wait to see your Let's Plays on console. Yeah, it would be good doing Let's Plays again. You know what? Maybe you gotta hit these things with an axe. Where'd it go? Oh, there's another spawn. Ooh, bet that hurt. Yeah, his body disappeared. It almost... Ah, fuck, you hit me. It almost seems as if you don't get fat with the shiv. Maybe that's a thing? I don't know. It could be a glitch too. Yeah, we already read those. I don't need either of them. That is very awkward. The new shaders and shadows are looking cool. I will pay for Skippy. Oh man, if only I could. Oh yeah, those are the books. Look at the books, they're floating on top of each other. We got some fucking Harry Potter shit going on here. Harry Potter'd be real jealous. Not that I've ever actually watched Harry Potter, I'm just assuming. Yeah, no, maybe it was just a fluke that I got animal fat that time around. Possibly. Alright, let's loot up these boxes here, and then keep moving on. I can spend like the whole day looting in here again. Oh, lots of freaking paper because we're in the like the book factory right now. Ooh, ooh, ooh! I finally got the last painting book. Sick. 110 fucking nails. Nice, nice. Ooh, an engine. Okay, so these things do drop engines. I thought so. I thought so. Let me catch up on my follows here too, guys. Like I said, they're not updating live for me, so I'll have to catch up with them. Tron Dang and Brandon Clark, Siren, Lanty, Jesus, Aaron, Brienne. Welcome to the channel, guys. And Jaybird, dude. That's insane, man. Thanks, man. Fucking guy. He dumps money like he ain't no thing. Alright. So we're going to search his generator bank as well. Empty construction box. Cabinet. And also search this room? Yeah, I'm not going to search all the cabinets. I'm going to just search the boxes and stuff. Now, only the really, really valuable things. Okay, awesome. Let's keep going here. This building is full of boxes. Boxes galore. I need to make a new torch. Let's get that done up. I think I left my other one upstairs. They made it so much harder now to make torches. I appreciate that, though. I definitely do. You know what I appreciate about you, 7 Days to Die? Is that you make torches hard. They changed it from tallow to just fat now. I don't really get that, but maybe to make it a little easier. Because on Alpha 15, what they did was they took out the ability to make torches with... to make torches with coal. Because you used to be able to make them with coal. Oh, what was a stripper doing in here? What's up, stripper? A stripper in a bookstore? Come on, fun pimps. At least be a little immersive. Alright, let's keep going here. Search up these boxes. Got another guy over there. What I might do is just actually run through this room. Oh, these I gotta search. Because sometimes you can find like the helmets and shit in here. So lockers are like one of my #1 things to search as well too. Whoa! Whoa, another stripper? Whoa! Oh, we got a biker! Alright. Alright, a stripper and some bikers. Oh, crap. Alright, let's get the situation under control here. That definitely gets a raise of the eyebrow. I thought they would have fixed this by now. Look at that biker guy, though. I can understand why the biker guy can't get in. He's too tall. Let's actually try to break his leg here. I can't hit his head. It's too high up there. That fucking biker guy is huge. I love it. What's up, zombie? Oh, did he leave? Was he like, fuck it, I'm out of here? You can deal with him, lady? Where did he go? Oh, he's up there now. I wonder if those guys drop anything good. Well, we're about to find out. I'm gonna hit him right on the noggin. What's up, buddy? Or in the chest. I'm gonna hit him in the titty. There we go. There's some titty punches for you, buddy. Come here. Yeah, this doorway's a little janky. Like, it would be cool if the zombies tried to walk under doors like this and, like, ended up slicing off their heads doing it. That would be funny as hell. You know everyone would make doors like this, though, if that was the case. Fucking beat on this. Whoa. Beat on this guy for years. What about in the balls? Nope. Zombies have no balls, apparently. Come on, buddy. Fuck. There we go. There we go. Now I can actually get a few headshots in on him. Come here, buddy. Whew. Drink some water. Oh, my food's getting dangerously low as well, too. Uh-oh. I might have to resort to shams. Maybe I should start searching some cupboards and shit. Try to find some canned foods, at least. Because we didn't even get to hit up any animals on the way, so... Holy fuck, are you kidding me? Oh, there goes the door. There goes the door. He's through now. Holy fuck, is this guy ever tough. Nice! Okay, what do you got for me, zombie biker? Ooh, antibiotics. Yes, I will hold on to those fuckers. Very useful. Yeah, I got no pills. We got to do a lot of searching. I'm actually gonna take everything out of these lockers, so we can go ahead and reloot them. Oops, here we go. Whew. The amount of loot in this building just keep you busy. Period. Okay, what's in here? We're gonna go ahead and actually just go ahead and scrap all this stuff. Gunpowder I don't need. Paper I don't need. That I don't need. Oh, my scrapping queue is full. Dang it. Nada. Yeah, we're gonna scrap those as well. Get some of that sweet, sweet iron. Kaden, dude, you have to go to, oh, we're gonna scrap that. You have to go to, right-click on the game in your Steam menu. Go to the betas tab at the end and go to the drop-down list and select latest experimental, and then it'll give you access to Alpha 16 experimental. And keyword, guys, keyword is experimental. Remember that. It's experimental. You're gonna have bugs. You're gonna have wipes up until stable. So always expect that. Are strippers like spawning everywhere? That's funny. Yeah, apparently strippers are running around the woods and stuff now too. We got some wild feral strippers going on. Nice. Okay, this room better not spawn in any more giant things. Holy shit! Holy shit! Let's get the fuck out of here. Whoa! Whoa! Was this not the right room to go to? Oh, it was. Okay, we're good. Whew! Holy fuck, yeah, that's way too many to want to take on right now. Wow, that was insane. Whole bunch of them spawned in. Yeah, we'll leave them. They can chill out over there. Right on. Oops, and there's another one right there. This guy, though, I can take care of by myself. Oh, shit, we got a hungry woman as well. What's up, lady?
Get this guy, funny guy, huh?
Come at me, bros. I'm actually gonna repair this thing. Now, I don't think they should be able to get to me up here. Nah, but I'll be able to. Oh shit! I was gonna say she hits like a tank. Hey there, big girl. You hungry? There we go. Hey. There we go. That one laid down. I wonder if those bikers can reach you up on a two-story platform. I wonder if that's a thing. I don't know. We're about to find out, though. I think. Sounds like they're slowly making their way through over there. I can hear them from distance. What's up, lady? Come here. Oh, look at that. She finally figured out she can almost get to me from there, but she didn't get to me from there. Oh, yeah. They angry. I can hear them. Whatever. I'm going to loot this room quickly while we can. They can do as much damage as they want to this building. I'm at like 4% hunger as well, too. That kind of sucks. Fridge bottom. Nothing. Oven. Nothing. Dang. My hair and I'm going all nuts in there. Alright. How did we do this last? Oh, okay. Here we are. Had to go down these stairs. They can have a fit up there. I don't really care. You know what? Whatever. I can always search a build. Oh, wait. There's a box over there I didn't even open. Oh. Is that enough? I don't think that's enough to make a spiked. Is that enough to make a spike club? Oh, no, you need 20. What was I thinking? Durr. Okay, I was wrong. Damn it, quit giving me empty jars. I don't need none of it. Cabinet top. Nothing. You pissed off the zombies. Yeah, they're angry. They're angry. Oh, a nice hunting book. Hunting rifles. What else can I get rid of here? I think we know... Oh, I didn't know the scrap helmet. Do I know the leather stuff? I do. Okay, we're going to scrap some stuff here too. Make some room for me. I already have one of those, so it's not a big deal. I can go ahead and scrap it. That's garbage as well too. Okay, awesome. Let's keep going here. Shit's madness. My skill in scavenging just went up. Nice. I like seeing that. Here we go. Oh, it looks like there's some more angry zombies up in there. I wonder why that floor was spawning in strippers and stuff. Maybe they're the employees? Maybe? I don't even know. I can't explain that. That was really weird. Do we know when Alpha 16 will be released? Stable, you mean? Okay. Bam. Holy shit, there's a lot of them in here. Holy shit talkie. Whoa, look at them all. Holy fuck, I'm gonna spend all day clearing these fucking zombies out. Shit. Yeah, you know what? I don't have any pills. I'm hungry. What I'm gonna choose to do is actually just get the fuck out of here. And we are gonna go down the building here. I'm not sure if we can go this way, but I'm about to find out. Risky. Oh shit! Oh shit! Well, we just found. Why did I slide off of those? Oh, that was fucking weird. Well, I just found out the easy way to get to the bottom of the building. Just fucking jump. Whoops. There is a food store over here, though. We can go searching for it. I'm holding, like, hot coffee in between my legs the whole time, too. And that was intense. All right. I'm going to close this thing off, and we're going to keep going. Hey, Map Tech, how you doing? Hey, Siri, how are you, man? Good to see you again. Siri is actually the guy who works on the mod launcher. Great tool. It made my life so much easier than having to like switch files back and forth all the goddamn time. Okay, you know what? Fuck. Come here, deer. Come here, deer. Really? Wow, I just killed a deer. I just killed a deer with a fucking club. Whatever, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm gonna start fucking dying soon here of hunger. I can eat, you know what? Screw it. We're gonna eat the sham sandwich. I'm sick to my stomach, but you know what? Oh wait, I can use a pill to get rid of it. There we go. Oh wait, didn't that cure food poisoning? Damn it, I thought it did. Wow, my bad. Oh, there we go, 16 seconds. Yeah, whatever. Food poisoning's not a big deal. That is why I like the sham sandwiches. They're actually kind of nice that way. So let's make a campfire. And I'm actually going to... wait, what do we have for food? There goes my wellness a bit. Whatever. I can deal with the wellness. Food 19%, water 40. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Let's go and rob this place. Horny Harry's. Oh, wait, no, that's her. Horny Harry's. Hurry Harry's? Fuck, I can't even say that. Yeah, let's go check out this place. This place looks like it has food in it. I've never actually seen this place before, so this is all brand new to me. But 11 meat, that'll be good for the night. That'll get us through what we need. Any sleepers in here going on? Looks like someone's been through here. Hopefully it's oh sweet, it's all respawned. Nice. Nice. Reloots. Oh, come on. I can't wait till they fix that. That's so immersion breaking. There we go. I do love the sleepers, but Jesus Christ. Having them spawn in front of you like that's pretty odd. I'm gonna search this place up for some food. I'd rather eat canned food on the fly than stop and make some meat, because we can always make meat when we get up to the top tonight. Oh, sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Can of salmon. We're gonna eat that shit. And some paint. Okay, I'll take the paint. Horny Harry's. Skippy has something on the mind. Yeah. Yeah, good old Harry. He's a good guy. Seriously, again, guys? I can't wait till they fix this. I really can't. Come here. Like, this is way too small of a space for zombies to be spawning in like crazy like that. And I can't take a hit either, so let's get the fuck out of here. Here we go. We'll take them on at the window. I still need to finish searching this. I'm a hungry boy. Come here, buddy. I almost wish zombies drop more food as well, too. That'd be pretty slick. Oh, nice. I leveled up. Awesome. Fuck, I have like next to no health either. Son of a business.
Get this guy, funny guy.
There we go. Lay down. Come here. Come here. There we go. I gotta catch up with the follows here very shortly as well, too, guys. Like I said earlier, it's not updating me live, so I'm sorry. I don't mean to ignore you. It's just happening. Okay. Aw, sweet. Look at that. Let's go ahead and eat that right off the bat. Nice. Go and scrap those. Sweet. Got our health back up to halfway here. Like, look at that. Another one spawned in again. Like, you can literally use a building to farm XP right now at this point in time. You can legitimately do that shit.
Get this guy, funny guy,
Okay. Alright, some dog food. I'm not gonna eat that right off the bat. Actually, you know what? What's his stats again? +5, -2. Okay, yeah, I'll eat that, whatever. No big deal. Shamway box. Shit, nothing. Alright. The search for food continues once I get some of these guys fat. Nada. It's troll season on YouTube. Yeah, a lot of the kids are out, I think, for summer break now. I think that's what's going on. Okay. Difference between being horny and hungry is where you put the cucumber. That's a good one, Sphery. Yeah, perv. Jesus Christ. That's awesome. Hey, Bar Down Boyer, how you doing, man? And welcome to all the new people as well, too. I do hope you enjoy 7 Days to Die. What the hell? Okay, just time that one person out. Thank you. Yeah, for as far as the timing out go, guys, if they're just spamming, time them out. Only use the ban as a last resort, or if it's like an obvious spam bot, just ban them. Wow, we just literally killed like 10 zombies robbing this place. Alright, let's go for houses. Homes. Oh, there's a daycare over there. We can go for the daycare for some food. We can go for this house over here. Forum page doesn't really say anything. Well, then you know what we know. Okay. Okay. Why would we know more than the devs do?
Get this guy. Funny guy, huh?
Come on, give me some foods. I need some food for my belly here. Alright, I'm gonna catch up with the follows here. I'm gonna rob this bottom last cupboard. Ooh. Corn. I'm gonna eat that. And also scrap some of this stuff here as well. Alright, let's catch up with them follows. I hate doing it this way, but it's not updating live, so. BSC Clan, Thomas, Adam, Bro Gamer, Zion, 3C Plays, welcome to the channel, guys. Thanks for the follows.
Get this guy. Funny guy.
How much is this game? I've forgotten. I'm on my phone, so I can't look it up. Well, it depends on what country you're in. It's about 30 bucks, I think. Oh, wait, no, it's not 30 bucks. It's $27 Canadian, so it's probably about, what, 20, 21, 22 American? I'm not sure how they do their translations, like, cross countries like that, so I couldn't tell you. I was gonna scrap those. And if you guys haven't done so yet, hit that like button. It helps promote the stream to new people. Okay, don't need that either. Sweet. I am going to keep those nails, though. That is actually a large amount of nails. Going to be very useful. These new POIs do not have medicine cabinets in them. It's frustrating. It's like they completely forgot about medicine cabinets when they made all these new POIs. Let's go search a few of these old ones, because these ones do have medicine cabinets in them. And I would love to get my hand on some pills here so that we can stay healthy. Yeah, like these ones are good for robbing for food as well too. They have tons of cupboards in them. Oh, what was that? Yeah, we'll scrap that.
Get this guy. Funny guy, huh?
Okay. Summer sale. Oh yeah, the Steam summer sale's coming up. I forgot about that, Sherry. Thanks for the reminder. I think when that... I wish you could just buy codes for 7 Days to Die. It's frustrating that you have to fucking friend them and send them. I hate that. I don't know why they did that shit, but... Like, giving away codes is a pain in the ass now as a content creator. As I found out. Because I have to use GTA otherwise, and G2A fucking sucks balls. I got ripped off on my last transaction with them. I'm currently working on the chargeback with them. I gave them a chance, too, to give me a refund first before I charge them back. But if they don't, I'll definitely be chargebacking them. I shouldn't have to pay a 40% premium on their site to protect me from them. That's a little silly. Okay. I don't know if you guys have ever used G2A before, but wow. Okay. Unlocked. Oh, well, hey there, zombie. How you doing? I'm just stopping in. We're looking for washrooms and stuff. I forget where the washroom is in this place. Is it in that room? No, I think it actually might be in that room. I'm gonna slap this down here. Huh? She's not gonna come up after me. Looks like she went back downstairs. Are you coming up here? Are you coming up here to visit, little lady? Alright. Here we go. I'm gonna... Okay. Well, that wasn't very effective. Yeah, no, that's just a bedroom. Where'd the fucking washroom go? Is it downstairs? It must be downstairs. It has to be downstairs. Okay, washroom. Where are you? That's not it. That's a bedroom. That's the office. Does this place even have a washroom? It has to. Oh, yeah, here's a washroom. Awesome. Oh, and there's another fucking zombie in here. Nothing. The whole point of coming in here. Nothing. Whoops. That door's locked. Alright. Let's go and do some more robins. Oh. Always check these backpacks and shit. They usually have good stuff in them. Except for that time. Just some clothes. Yeah, that's what I thought, Rachel. I was going crazy there, but it's off the one room. So, I forgot about that, but... Sweet, here's another house. Let's go rob this one up, too. pills and stuff, like health stuff is not easy to find like it was before at all. Oh, there's a light on in there. Cool. Trash compactor has cloth in it. I'll just shove a shirt in the trash compactor. Why not, right? I won't be able to watch the streams for a couple weeks. Oh, that sucks, dude, but it's okay to have a life. Okay, here we go. Oh, sweet, got some more food. We're gonna eat that up right away as well, too. Can of ham. Nom. Okay, now water's still good. I'm not afraid of water. Water's so easy to get. It's a food, though. That's not so easy. I remember when water even used to be a challenge in 7 Days to Die. Not so much anymore, but it used to be. Washroom's right back. Wait. What the fuck's a washroom in this place? No, that's the office. I think the washroom's this way. We might wake up that zombie over there as well, too, but you can stand there for now. What's a life? I know, right? I know. Making turkey bacon club. Oh, I made homemade pizza last night. Delicious. I haven't done that in a while. Ugh. Okay. So anyways, guys, you do get timed out for spamming in my channel. That shit's not funny or cool. It's just annoying because it's hard to read the chat when you do that shit. Oh, cheerleader's on fire. What's up, cheerleader? Come here, bitch. You know, right here. Yeah, I'm gonna hit you with my shiv. Oh, look at that. I started actually looting her before she even fell. That's funny. Okay, is this going to re-loot? I don't know if that was looted. No. No re-loot on that one. Okay, we searched everything, right? Oh, yeah, I need that splint. I will definitely take splints. Splints are a pain in the ass to make now. Okay, murky water, sick stuff. Okay. Okay. Let's get out of here. What else do we have? Holy crap, there's another tower over there? Ooh. Ooh. Oh, wow, there's a city close to... Oh, wait, that's part... Oh, wow. Okay, this city's huge. I thought it was small, but there's a whole nother section, city section over there. That is freaking awesome. Storm's rolling in. That actually kind of scared me for a second. I was not expecting that. Okay, we are gonna actually make some more torches here on the fly. I do need to go out as well too. We need to get some wood. So let's actually go and start chopping down some trees. Get our basics like our wood and everything else, and then we can start working our way back up the building because it's 1800, and I've been just kind of dicking around. So. Yeah, this actually, ooh, that side of the building might be a challenge too, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. We'll get her going. Who needs a life when you have video games? That's funny. Hey, Alexandra. I don't know how to pronounce that properly. Is that an H? Alexandra? Alright. Pyro, if you don't like it, dude, you can unsubscribe and stop watching, man. It's an easy solution. 90% of the people that watch me because they can go full screen on their mobile devices and still see the chat, so it still has some context, man. And it's not that big. Suck it up. I'm here to chill out with my friends and have a good time. Here we go. Bam. Oh, down on stamina. Fuck, it's still down on health. They've made it really hard to gain your health back up. But that's okay because when I go and cook up that meat, that should help us gain some of that health back for sure. I have a life. Overrated. Yeah, I get ya. I get ya. We also need some feathers too. So investing in bad mechanic will actually help increase the amount of wood you get from chopping down trees and how fast they do it. So it's definitely worth investing in that. We're one big dysfunctional no-life family. Yeah, we're actually a pretty chill community, guys.
Get this guy, funny guy, huh?
Okay, we're gonna repair this. And oh, we're still making torches. Damn it! Recipes. Let's fix that up. And I guess I can catch up on my follows here as well, too, when I'm farming stuff. DX Gaming, Ezra, Cool Guy, and Brayden, welcome to the channel, guys. Thank you for the follows. Sick. Oh, it's Horde night tonight. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. I forgot it was Horde night. I have nothing to fight with either. I hadn't had the time to prepare for the Horde night because I've only played like 3 in-game days on the server. That's a one downfall of playing on the multiplayer server, is the days still roll on when you're not playing. So, what am I gonna do here? Who has a Horde base? I might come over to you for the night, cause like I got nothing. I'm working with nothing here. Let's find a small boulder and get some stones so I can make some arrows as well. Throw the paint on zombies. I wish you could paint zombies, but you can't. So that's why we're hearing thunder already, because they let you know way ahead of time that Horde night is happening. So that's a new thing. Oops. Oh, thank you, Leon. Thank you. Day 42 and still using those tools? Yeah, you got me, dude. You got me. Right after I just said I've spent like 3 in-game days playing the game, and we're on the multiplayer server. But you got me. You got me. Oh, I love ignorance. Cupcake. What's your name in game? Actually, I might come over to you. What the hell? Okay, I don't even know here what's going on. Kill House? Oh, okay. Let's go over to Kill House and see what's at Kill House. Why not? Oh, you separated the words. That's why. Durr. Okay, that should bring us over to Kill House now. What is Kill House? Oh, is this where everybody's at? Oh, what's up? What do we got going on here?
Get this guy.
You's on fire, dude. Sick. So you guys already got some electricity going on. You got some traps going on. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I love the sound of those things. They sound so cool. And when they turn, they look like my crazy-ass ceiling fan. That's funny. Alright, we're going to scrap these. And I'm going to make some arrows while I'm at it, actually. Recipes. Arrow. I wish they introduced being able to make bones in the arrows as well, too. That would be really nice. At least I could do some damage tonight. Maybe make a new bow, too. There we go. Oh, what? Duke of Gaming? Wow. You're doing it wrong. Fiery guy will fight the hordes with his fire. Yes, I know, right? Why are you guys killing yourselves? Is that the new thing to do? You teens and your fads, I swear. Back in my day, we didn't have rotating fans to kill yourself on. Yeah, those really hurt. I don't really recommend doing that. What's this? Oh, it's electric. Oh, your generators are up top. Okay, cool stuff. Cool beans. So what else we got here? Wooden bow. Nice. I got 39 arrows for Horde Night. This actually should get pretty decent because there's a bunch of us here, so. It's a new spike check. Yep, they're working. Throw Bob into the frames. Oh no, I'm good on food, guys. I'm good on food. I can't take a hit. That's all. Get a behemoth on Horde Night? They're not in the game yet, dude. Like, they're in the spawn list, but they're not functional. I want to build a PC someday. Life goals. Yeah, everyone's just kind of waiting. What's going on, guys? Actually, where even are we? Holy crap! Yeah, I'm nowhere near home. All right. Shit is about to hit the fan. I know, right? Horde Night naked for the win. Nice. A lot of people are doing Horde Night naked. Who are you, Cupcake, in the game? Go loot his stuff, laugh out loud? No, we're all adult gamers here, dude. We don't find that shit funny. Come to the fire. What's at the fire? Do you guys have food at the fire? I guess I could have cooked my own food at the fire. I guess I could have done that. Yeah, you're doing it wrong, buddy. You're not supposed to stand on the fire. Freaking doofy. Alright, what do we have over here? Nothing. Oh, you know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and... oh, you guys don't even have a grill in here? Really? And I have one on me too. That's a shame. I scrapped it. Oh well. Oh well. Hey Sarah, what's up? Ah, there we go. Jesus, everyone's here with us now. Let's hope this fucking works. Let's hope it's not a dud Horde night. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, seriously? Seriously? Okay, there might be a way to fix this, guys. I'm gonna try to fix it. Okay, hopefully that'll free up some spawning for us. Seriously right now? Oh, there's one. We have one incoming. Yeah, there we go. That fixed it. Okay, so admins, if we have no spawns on Horde Night, do a kill all. That fixed it. Now, because now we're sensed and hunted and stuff. So, yeah, do a kill all, and that'll fix the Horde Night if it's being a dud. Oh, look, a radiated cop. Nice. Whoa. I don't want to get in the way of that guy's spit. Look at him. Motherfucker's tough. Oh, do we have some action going on in the middle? I can't see. Why is there no lights in this place? Who's down there? Oh! Wow, look at the range of those things. That's insane. Is this how Horde Nights work now? Pretty slow. Now I'll just go out there and deal with it. If I had full health, I'd be out there, but I don't. Oh, there's a Pharaoh. I hope they fix this. For how many people we have here, that we should be being swamped by them right now. Oh, here comes another one. There's another one. Okay, it's starting to work now. They're starting to come in. Sweet stuff. Mem's down there slapping away. What's up, Mem? I got like 38 arrows, so I'm not being very useful. That's clever, actually. I really like how you use the stairs and then put the blades on the top of the stairs. That's actually a really good idea. Is there some down? Oh, there's some down at the bottom as well. Okay. I see. I see. Oh, we have some more incoming. Holy noise. Look at them, they're all crawling around. Oh, so pretty much by the time they get to the top, they're crawling. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna go down there then. This is actually really cool. I'll go check this out. And I'm also gonna catch up with my follows here as well too. Treebeard, Ashton, Swag, the Diamond Dozer, and DX Gaming, welcome to the channel, guys. I still don't have the mining helmet, so I held the flashlight. Oh, at least you're doing something. Hold this light for me, please. Okay, how the fuck? Oh, I gotta go this way around over here. Okay. I get it. I get it. Danger, Will Robinson. Holy crap, there's actually a lot down there. Look at them all. You know what? I'm hearing explosions. I'm gonna start taking pot shots at them from here. Sweet. There we go. There they come. Here they go. I love how... look at that. Oh, that was so cool. His limbs went all flying off. That is so freaking cool. Then there's Jaybird being fucking Chuck Norris down there. He's an admin, so... Okay, I'll pump my arrows into a few of these guys here. I'm hitting them because it's making the noise. I just can't see it. Did he die? Nope. Come here. Love the spinning traps. Yeah, the spinning traps are pretty fucking cool. They seem almost a little OP though. Oops, I almost hit APM. My bad. Oh, there's a hungry lady down there. Let's get her. Twack, twack, twack. I like how too they react to it and actually like get pushed away from them. That's pretty cool looking. Turrets. Ooh, that's dangerous, guys, with the turrets down there. You guys are insane. Do you have a switch on them? I hope you have a switch on these turrets. That's some dangerous ass shit. And if you guys haven't done so yet, hit that like button. It helps promote the stream and suggest the stream to random people who may actually come to like 7 Days to Die. Oh, this is so much fun to watch. I've never actually seen these live yet. Oh, there goes her head. Oh, this is so sick looking. Love it. Oh, another one bites the dust. The stripper came crawling back. What's up, stripper? Holy crap, there's just a pile of zombies down there. Oh, it shows you who the bedrolls are owned by now? Oh, that's sick. So I can tell whose bedroll it is. That is awesome. Look at the pile of zombies down there. I almost wish I had some TNT. Boom. Gone. Peter. Good God, those friggin' spam bots are real today. What's up, guy? I'm not your friend, guy. Yeah, the console update's gonna be pretty fucking sick too. And then eventually you guys will get this stuff once it's finished and polished as well. Seems to be about the standard. There's one right beside you, dude. I wonder what the ranges of these guys are. Are they like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks, or only 3 by 3 blocks? I'm thinking it's 5 by 5 for the range. Holy crap, that one just got tossed. That was cool. Looks like they took out the bottom of the stairs though. You know what I'm gonna start doing? I'm actually gonna go ahead and start harvesting fat because I want to make some more torches. Hey crazy, what's up, man? Whoa, where'd that spit come from? Okay, I'm gonna just be over here, guys. Harvesting bodies for fat. I think one hit by these guys and I'm fucked, so... Oh, I'm 107 degrees? I should definitely take care of that. Get rid of this plant fiber shit. Holy crap, how many zombies do we have alive right now? This is insane. All I hear is madness. I seem to have more effect breaking down zombie bodies with the with this empty feral stripper. Aren't all strippers feral? Let's hit her right in the tit. Oh, I don't like seeing that. Oh, whoa, whoa, dude, right beside you. Watch out. Oh, you don't know I want to get hit by those things. Holy shit, they're making the... you know what? I'm out of here. I'm gonna help pump some arrows into these guys. Look at them get fucked up, though. Whoa. Holy shit. Who's on fire? Oh, this is so much fun to watch. Look at this guy down there crawling around without any fucking legs. You're doing it wrong. Aw. What are you doing, APM? Guy's fucking suicidal, I swear. All I want is your body. There we go, get some of that sweet, sweet fat. Oh, stupid me, I need some water. Derp. Holy crap, all I hear is zombies down there, guys. Oh, now I have to make a new one. Who's got the fucking AK? Oh, look at them out there. Yes, Horde Night is working beautifully. Nice, that's what I like to see. This is madness. See, this is what I expect 7 Days to Die to be like. Skippy dies on Horde Night from thirst. Keeping my eye out too. Oh, someone just died. Who just died? Mem died. Don't go dying on me. Jesus. How many? You know what? I can actually tell how many zombies we have alive. Okay, I'm getting away from you because you seem to be attracting them like mad. I'm gonna go up here and then we'll see what we got going on. I think they started slowing down because it's 3 o'clock in the morning. There's 56 zombies alive right now. That's not even that much, but they're killing them pretty damn quickly. Do you guys have a switch on all of this? Is that what you got going on? How much fat did we get off of that? We got enough to make 4 torches. Whatever. That cop spit, though, I'll tell you what. Look at them all over here. Holy crap. Look at all the zombies out here. That's insane. I wish I had more health, but it is what it is at the moment. Okay, I'm gonna also choose to separate myself from people that are becoming targets, like him. I like the radiated zombies. Actually, they fixed them. They're not as shiny anymore. The radiated zombies used to look really bad. Like they're bright green and like extremely glowing. It was like completely unreal. Oh, looks like somebody's hungry. What up, ladies? It's like the lineup for McDonald's here. The radiated cops look like toxic watermelons. That's funny. I like how the zombies are all running in different directions too. That's really odd. I was never a fan of multiplayer till now. Multiplayer PvE is kick-ass on 7 Days to Die. PvP can suck my balls on 7 Days to Die. 7 Days to Die is not a fucking PvP game. I hate it when people try to force it to be one. There we go. But yeah, no, multiplayer is pretty fucking sick. Our server is strictly PvE. Strictly PvE. It's a combined effort, right? Are you guys... Wow, look at that. Holy crap, a lot of them ended up damaged. Wow. Almost all of them ended up damaged on Horde Night. That's freaking awesome. Well, let's go down and see if we can't help clear. I'm gonna wait for that guy to blow up first, so. Whee! Let's see what we got going on. Can I loot any of these guys? Yeah. Oh, she's dead. Ooh, I'll take your sham. Nice! I got that kill and leveled up. Awesome. Alright, cool. Look at all the bodies all over the place here. I'm gonna start cleaning some of these guys up. Wow, we did some damage on Horde Night. I like that, though. I'm gonna figure out a way to hide wires within walls. So you got the battery bank here powering these ones down here. That's cool. And all the batteries in it. Nice. Good job, Jay. That's freaking sick, dude. That was fun to watch, too. I couldn't do much because I wasn't prepared for it because I've only played like 3 in-game days. And it's like almost a max Horde Night already. But good God, that was fun to watch. I'm going for that fat. Yeah, it's almost like the Shiv just doesn't really put out on fat much. But oh well, I'll keep using it. Because these are my bladed weapons. Multiplayer for sure, PvE only. Yeah, like, I like PvP, don't get me wrong. I fucking love PvP. But this is not the appropriate game for it at all. There's just too much glitching, too much other shit you can do on PvP that makes it a really bad balance. Like Rust is a great PvP game. I used to like Ark, but yeah, fuck that. Okay. Oh, a shotgun. Okay, I'll take that. I don't know why you guys didn't, but I'll take it. Everyone's going around and breaking down bodies. Ooh. Food! Nice. I'll take that as well. Trying to get all of the achievements. Nice. On console, it's hard because you got to do that PvP achievement. And like, me and my buddy actually sat there for a while killing each other, and we ended up getting way too bored. We couldn't finish it off. But there we go. That's a pretty cool horde base, actually. It's kind of fun. All right, so we're gonna return home here, and guys, if don't leave these guys laying around. I'm actually gonna eat that because I think they're part of the reason why we're having troubles with spawns on the server. It's like, I think they're counting these as actual live zombies. I think that's what's going on. Low quality shotguns should have a chance to blow up on you. That would be cool. That would actually be really cool. I can see the guys at True Survival doing that. I can totally see that happening. Alright. Anywho. Let's go back home, guys. Because this is a huge map and a huge multiplayer map, I can actually use return. Because, like, literally, if you want to do Horde Nights together... What the fuck just happened there? Ah, fucking bot. I swear. I swear. Fix your fucking bot, Smegs. That was a bot that killed me on that one. I like turtles. Okay, well, whatever. I'm gonna go back to my pack. That's such a pain in the ass. Put me back, like, in the middle of the air. Wow, bot. Wow, you suck. Okay, is it gonna drop me from the air again? Be prepared to get dropped here, guys. Fuck. The fuck? Alright, whatever. I guess I'm gonna have to run this. This is really weird. I don't know why it dropped me in the air like that. And the return's not working. Ugh. Oh, only 2 belts is dropped? I thought it was drop everything.
Get
the fuck?
This guy. Funny guy, huh?
Something's off there. We're gonna have to take a look at that. That's really fucking weird. I hate how it dropped me in the air. That kind of chapped my ass. Thepler, it's Midge, Isaac, welcome to the channel. Treebird, you as well too. Ashton, WWE, Supercard War, and Swag, welcome guys. Thanks for the follows. you guys haven't done so yet, hit that like button. It does help promote the stream as well, too. Hey, what's up, friends? Memes for days. I like turtles. That's what that was. You don't like turtles? You can fuck off. Why is there a lumberjack in the desert? There's definitely a vulture over there, though. We're going to stay the fuck away from that thing. Hopefully my backpack doesn't despawn. It's not like I really need it, but it'd be nice to have that stuff back. I think I put that shotgun in my tool belt, too. Damn it. I'm going to have to go and fix some settings for the server as well. It's supposed to be drop everything. My bad. Hey, what's up, Starscream? Ooh, I think all my water and stuff was in my... Yeah, it was too. Son of a bitch. Yeah, I don't know why. It's like telling me I can't go near my pack, so... It's really friggin' odd. Definitely going to be grabbing up some feathers and stuff, though, in this desert on the way. Aren't you happy you got your health back, though? What health? I didn't get any health back. I lost health, dude. I'm now down 10 health. I'm down to 86. That is not an appropriate way, dude, to get your health back up. Okay. Keep running this way. No, it's because all I had to do is get back to the top of the building as well, too. Make myself some meat, and my health would have been back up. No, that just literally chopped my ass. I can't believe the bot did that to me.
Get this guy. Funny guy, huh?
No, I didn't spell pack wrong. I did it the second time. I spelled it wrong the first time. It told me that it couldn't find an area that it could spawn me by. It basically told me my pack was underground. It thinks my pack's underground for some reason. Whatever, I'll just run it. Like, running it's not a big deal, but just kind of sucks that I have no problems with death. Death is a thing, but that was weird. That was like an unexplained death. So, the server as well, too, every once in a while will take you and dump you somewhere random. I've had that happen a few times. Getting some major ass lag here today. It's gotta be that bot. Stupid under development stuff. I can't get that mad either because we're in experimental, right? So it just kind of sucked that happened.
Get this guy. Funny guy, huh?
Oh shit, I just ran over crap. Austin, Amit, welcome to the stream. I'm not, if you guys like do that follow more than once thing, I'm not even gonna bother shouting you out. You're fucking destroying my statistics by doing that. Not cool. Okay, let's keep going. Stupid cacti. The pack's near my house, at least. At least we got that. Ah, shit. Okay, how far does this go? Oh, we're not too far away from my pack. We can make it there. I'm gonna let my stamina get back up, though, before we try, journeying there. I didn't know you could drink those. Cool.
Get this guy. Funny guy, huh?
Wow. All right. We'll make some yucca juice so I can grab some stamina back up here to run through here. How did I die? Yeah, we got some weird ass stuff going on right now. Ah, shit. Should have used my stamina up and then drank it. My bad. Rogan and Austin, welcome to the channel, guys. Thanks for the follows. Learn something new every day. Gotta watch out for them landmines, too. Keep a careful eye out. And the dogs. Definitely watch out for them dogs. I don't have my bow or anything either. I just like making a mad dash for my backpack here. Come on, refresh. There we go. I can't get distracted here. I gotta be careful. Nate is bait. Welcome to the channel, dude. Let's go this way. Hit up that bird's nest. 142 feathers now. Nice. It's almost way too easy to get feathers on vanilla. We're at like regular loot too, so it's not even like bonus loot or anything.
Get this guy, funny guy, huh?
Whew, I think we're okay. I think we might have made it into the clear. And that I can deal with. Yeah, you know what? I never even thought to drink grain alcohol. It makes sense you can drink it, but I never even thought to drink it. Doesn't sound like it would taste good. Oh, look at that. There's a mine right there. Fuck, those are hard to see in the rain, too.
Guy, funny guy, huh?
Those things are such a troll. Freaking Joel. I remember on Alpha 15 when they were just thinking about the idea of adding landmines into the game. And instead of putting them into the biome, like being biome specific like this, what Joel had done was actually placed them along the edges of roadways. Like throughout the entire map. People got pretty angry about that one, so he changed it. I can see why, though. Just having random landmines everywhere is a little... not make sense. Even in this biome, having them randomly scattered still makes no fucking sense. But Joel likes to troll, so we got him. Yeah, there's nothing like typing out on the phone. Phone's gonna be so frustrating. Bam. Grab that egg. Oh, sweet. Back into the biome with the wolves instead of the dogs now. Let's just hope we don't run into any fucking wolves. Gotta keep an eye out for those fuckers. Oh, there's a rabbit. And it's stuck. Really? Oh, there we go. And it's dead. Let's see if we can... Do we have any bones on us? We can. Whoa! Not drop. Oh, I gotta start using the buttons here. So we want to go recipes, so I'm gonna press A. And then W to craft. Okay. Cool stuff. I'm gonna throw the rest out, though, because we really don't need that many bones on us. We'll grab whatever meat this guy has to offer us. Thank you very much for your subsistence, rabbit. You have not died in vain. Whee! Just run over him while looking at him. Okay. As the backpack, we must be getting awfully fucking close. We are. Why did it spawn me in the air, though? That I don't understand. I'm gonna have to talk to Smegs about that one. Has anyone else on the server had that happen to them, where it just like spawns you in the middle of the fucking air for no reason? Is it inside this building? Because I've never even been here. Okay, no. No. Yeah, that's weird how it had me over here for some reason. Doesn't make any sense. Just wait until he steps on one of those mines. Here's my pack. Okay, awesome. What can I get rid of here? That's junk. Paper. Oh, we have like 2 fucking stacks of paper. Yeah, we can definitely get rid of those. Cool stuffs. Alright, so I need to make some ladders, and we need to do some basic construction, because we gotta pimp out my house here. How far away are we? Wow, I was never even over here. Why did it spawn me over here? Fucking bots. I swear, Smegs just trolled me. Yeah, I can't wait to start making stuff either. I'm actually gonna be making POIs and stuff this time around as well too, and working on a POI pack. Which reminds me, Sphere, I have to talk to you about how to get hooked up with that, with the launcher, dude. Because I'd love to be able to tie that into that, but I'm starting fresh with that stuff, so I have no clue. No clue. I'm not Claire. Do people think you're Claire, Cupcake? That's funny. Okay. This playthrough around, I've actually made the promise that I'm not going to be nerd pulling. I'm gonna do my best to avoid it at all cost. Not because I agree with people that nerd pulling is an exploit in a Vox game. More of the fact that I wanted a little bit more of a challenge by not nerd pulling. True Survival is good for that because they took the nerd pulling out. It was pretty slick. Sweet, man. Yeah, I gotta get a hold of that that program to build the POIs in, and take a look at that because yeah, man. I'm not gonna touch that though until we get to stable, just in case they fuck with the blocks again. Okay, scrap. These rebar frames, I'm actually gonna scrap them as well too. The honey's useful, very useful. Oh, did Claire say that she was dropping in the stream? Yeah, I invited her out. I'm like, Claire, why don't you come to my stream and answer why console isn't getting traders over and over again for me? It was pretty funny. It'd be nice to have Claire here, though. Claire's an amazing community manager. I really like her. Hey, for the right money, I'll be Claire too. Okay. It is what it is. Getting them skills and athletics up. Hey, where's my stone axe? There we go. I'm gonna use this thing up here. Bam. Bam. See, this is what I like doing for wood, is just running and like chopping down all those small things as I run along. It's a little more efficient, especially if you're out hunting. Because it's like one hit done, right? You only get a couple from it, but it does add up as you go. And you don't have to stop moving. There's a few ways to make and export the POIs. Yeah, well, what I was doing last time when I was kind of dicking around with it and trying to figure it out, what I would do is I would use copies mod on the server to save it as a POI, to save it as well, you know what I mean, right? I'm bad with technical terms sometimes. But I was using copies mod to do it. I just wouldn't know how to export it and distribute it from there. But that program I've seen that what's his name uses looks amazing. I think I'd rather use a standalone than have to deal with trying to do it on the server. Claire was on earlier and I missed her? Ah, fuck. My bad. My bad. Sometimes the chat goes too crazy and I miss stuff. Aw, I'm gonna have to thank her for stopping in. Oh, my bad. Shit. My bad, Claire. Take down that zombie body. Nah, so what I want to do is I want to make a pillar to go up the side of that building so I can go up and down it without having to go through the center of the building. Because it's a maze in there. It'd take forever. What, are you hitting that car for, skater punk? You pissed? You mad at the world? Nice. I love how I haven't gotten any trophies on this account, and I keep getting trophies playing it. I'm like looking up, I'm going, what the hell? That's a trophy. Or trophy. Achievement, sorry. On Steam, honestly, I can give a shit about achievements or trophies, because they almost feel a little cheaty. Because, well, you can mod it and still get the achievements, right? So... Okay, we're gonna get rid of those scrap plastics and we're gonna go ahead and build ourselves. Oh shit! Oh shit! Holy crap, you little motherfucker! Holy fuck, these fuckers are fast. Fuck you. Fuck you. Oh, I can't shoot him through the car. Fuck you. Fuck you. Oh, nice. Oh, you're gonna try to run away now? Yeah, I don't think so, buddy. That's right. Fucking pussy. Shit, he almost got me, too. That was close. Whatever. More food for me. These wolves are fucking badass. Okay. So there's little ledges on this building. So I'm thinking making a pole and then working my way up the building is the best idea. How you doing, Jay? What's up, man? So I'm actually gonna go ahead and because like this is probably gonna get smashed up by zombies, I'm gonna attach it to a building a few times just in case they come along the bottom and fuck this shit up. There we go. And we can build some ladders and work our way up the side. Okay. How much wood do we have? Okay, I'm gonna make, shit. We have to go get some more wood. That's not too bad, though. There's a ton of trees still left to boot. Wait, is my inventory full? It is, and I'm dropping that shit. My bad. Okay, where did that wood go? We need you, wood. Tried to fix the player, now it doesn't show any live stream irons. What? Not sure what you mean on that one, dude. And bam. Nice, level 8s. I'll have to thank Claire for stopping by. I feel horrible now. I didn't even see her when she stopped in. Shoot them in the ass. Yes, that's how you get rid of wolves. You shoot them in the ass. I read no Adobe blocks now. Well, the thing is, dude, they took Adobe blocks out because you can paint Adobe. There is actually zero need for the Adobe blocks anymore. At first, too, it made me scratch my head, but then I got to thinking. I'm like, wait, the only reason you ever made Adobe blocks was for the Adobe textures, but now you can paint them, so there's no point in having the Adobe blocks. So they took the Adobe blocks out. They took the cobblestone frames out. Oh, look at that. That was perfect timing. They took the cobblestone frames out. What else did they take out? I forget. But you upgrade flagstone now to cobble. That's how that one's done. Oh, this is full of sandbags. I almost thought it was a military camp. I was going to say, holy shit. I hope I don't fucking kill myself. Yeah, let's go over this way. I'm going to go for that tree over there. Swing and a miss. Hey, what's up, one? Alright guys, and if you haven't done so yet, hit that like button. Helps promote the stream and exposes it to more people. Grilled, of course. Nah, it's a good time to grab a drink here. Why is building so bad in 7 Days to Die? Sorry dude, you don't even know what you're talking about. Ah, here we go. Oh, I'm delicious. I got it all over my face, guys. I hope you saw that. I hope you see it get all over my face. That was delicious. I've heard Ark fans say, why is the building so bad in 7 Days to Die? It should be like Ark. That one amuses me. That one's one of my favorites. Okay, let's go, tree. Get the fuck out of here. Nice. Now we can still work on building our ladders. I do miss the days when trees, if you stood in the way of a falling tree, it would kill you. I really wish they would bring that back into the game. That would be really nice. Yep, don't need either of those. So we got some ladders, man. We got those, man.
This guy, funny guy, huh?
And now we can continue our way back up top. I gotta catch up with the all those follows too. Tons of them. Aaron, Survival, Deal, Young Gamer Blast, Banana, Zone Goofy, welcome to the channel, guys. Thanks for the follows. For some reason, Streamlabs isn't updating me live on the follows, guys, so I do miss them. My bad. Sorry. You know what? I don't even need to fill these in going up here. I can come back and fill them up later. It's unnecessary. There we go. Bam. Nice, there we go. Quick way up and down the side of the building. I think so. I'll have to knock that bottom ladder out, I think. It's still a little risky, only knocking one ladder out of the bottom. But they shouldn't aggro me all the way up here on top of the building through this ladder. If they do, I'll be incredibly surprised. Like, incredibly surprised. There we go. Oof. I have that falling feeling. I'm actually at the edge of my chair right now. I don't want to fall off. Because that's an insta death. Literally almost an insta death. Let's look up wood railing. Wood frame. Here we go. I'm gonna make 15 more of these. Self-porno? Jesus Christ, you guys. Yeah, they're working on the wolves. The wolves, at this moment in time, they're clipping through things oddly. They have improved it on this build, but it still exists a little bit. So, that's what experimental is for, though, to work out all those little tiny bugs. Holy shit! Is there a zombie down there? There's a zombie at the bottom. All right, he's just laying there, fucking some dangerous ass shit. Maybe I made too much ladders. I think I may have made too much ladders. That's okay, though. Too many ladders. Too much ladder. Much ladder. So sad. Why is the game so foggy? I sometimes get it too and it's annoying. You mean, why is the game so immersive? Let's fill in these frames, yeah. Bam, bam. I love the new weather. I love it. It's so immersive. All the doom and the gloom. I'm down. I also like the darkness. I love how dark the game is. You know what? I'm actually going to go like this, just to make a little bit of a safety here, so that I don't fall off the edge. Nice. Alright, let's go ahead, bust into this, and then I can actually get my campfire and stuff going. I'll have to clear the top here of any spawns, because we should be getting some spawns up here as well, too. I said no self-promo? No self-porno. Jesus, Cupcake. Nice. Okay. Okay. Did we spawn in any sleepers? Sleepers. Yeah, no, we're good. All right, awesome. Let's get our meat warmed up here. Hey, can you burn animal fat? Can't do. Makes sense. Instead of using that, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna use my my gas barrels to burn. There we go. One gas barrel will burn for 20 minutes. So yeah, instead of wasting all that stuff, I'm gonna just use the gas. Bacon and eggs. Ooh, 9 of those. That's sexy. Do we have any more eggs kicking the boot? Nope. No eggs. That's unfortunate. Split wood, iron. Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna keep those rounds on me along with the gun as well too. That makes a little more sense. Okay, am I freezing now? Of course I'm freezing. So let's get dapper here, guys, and put on my suits. The suit has great insulation on it. Plus 30 for the chest. Only plus 2 for the pants, though. But damn, don't you look sexy with it on? Check that out. Check that out. Yeah. I still got the plant fiber hood on. Whatever. It is what it is. There we go. That'll keep us warm, though, for the time being. Jar of honey. The empty glass jar is going to stay. Cool stuffs. That can stay, too. Okay. Look at that. Look how much stuff we have now. We're getting along well here. I'm going to make these into torches so we can light up the area better. There we are. Stone can stay up. We need to go and get some more stone as well, too. More stone, more wood. Do we have any time left in the day? Oh, we have a ton of arrows we can make. Yeah, we need to go get some stones and shit. We can do that up. We have also 17 meats. So I'm going to grill the rest of the meat here. 17? Where did I count 17? Okay, Skippy's going crazy. Oh, you know what I need to do? Before we do anything else, I need to put a bedroll down up here. I have a bedroll, but it's in the middle of the freaking building, so not such a good idea. But yeah, I'm going to put the bedroll in up here. Hey, what's up, Leon? You should play it and watch it at the same time, man. How did I make paint? I didn't make any paint. I actually found the paint, but you make the paint in the chemistry stations. Oh yeah, no, I've just stopped answering it. I was pretty fucking clear in the video that I was relaying information that was on the forums, and that they should go and join the forums if they need any further information. So, yeah, no, I refuse to answer that question. If you didn't watch the whole video or pay attention, not my problem. I do that as a favor, or public service announcement. I'm just a messenger. There we go. I was afraid of falling off that fucking edge. Sketchy ass shit. I should put some frames around the top, actually. It'll probably be a little better. Alright, so we need to get some more wood. We need to get some more stone before night falls here. I guess I can, like, hack at this, but it'll take forever. The little boulders are way better for collecting stone. And this is lead. I should have known that. I've played this game. Whoa, look at the bear over there. Look at that bear. Actually, you know what? Whee! Where's my bow at? Where's my bow at? There it is. Okay, cool. Arrows? We'll start making some of those up. I'm gonna actually attempt to kill this bear. I'm gonna see how well this goes. Come here, bear. Is that too high? Too low? It's so hard to see with the rain. I think it's too high. I think I've seen it go over. There we go. Right in the head. Come at me, bro. What's he doing? Come here, buddy. Fuck. Okay. I'll come to you then. What? He's just standing there taking it? Alrighty then. Maybe this will be an easier kill than I thought. Why isn't he attacking? Maybe because... Yeah, that's broken. It's definitely broken. I wonder how many arrows this is going to take. I hope I have enough. Thunk. I love that sound of your arrow making connection. That is so cool. This guy's going to give us a ton of food. We won't have to worry about food for a while now. If he starts running, though, I'm fucking out of here. Keep hitting him in the fucking head. Thunk. Holy shit! They do take a lot of fucking arrows to kill. Come here, buddy. Right in the ass. Right in the kisser. Come here, buddy. Good boy. Keep taking those arrows like it's fucking champ. Seriously? You'd think it would be dead by now. No animal. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Now the bear is after me. Motherfucker! What's up, bear? Uh-oh. Whoa! Oh, good thing the bears can't climb ladders. That would fucking suck. Zombies definitely can, though. So I'm gonna try to kill these guys. Whoa! Okay, you know what? Actually, come up here so I can melee you. And just get rid of your threat. There we go. I'm down to like fucking 8 health, too. He keeps coming up the ladder so I can slap him. Okay, well, break the ladder for me, thank you. Sweet. Now I can go ahead and finish off this bear. Come here, buddy. Oh, sweet, the bear is down. Nice. I was gonna give us a ton of meat. Look at, what is he doing? It's like twitching out like crazy. Nice. Another one down. And this guy here is just gonna be a pain in the ass. You know what? I made health, so I don't even want to risk getting hit. He's dead. Is he dead? Nope. Never mind. That would have been stupid. Where, bud? Nice. Let's go skin the fuck out of that bear because I want its precious, precious meat. Let's see how much a bear gives you in meat. This should give us a lot. Should give us a lot. The bear is pretty fucking big. Oh, the amount of animal fat too. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I know. It was just a simple wood and stone collection, but why not? Holy shit, 21 raw meat off that bear. That was totally worth it. 100% worth it. The bear is a god. Yeah, that bear is like tough as balls. Oh shit, military camp. Not going that way. Let's go this way and slap down a few trees before nightfall. Oh, and you know what? We're out of stone. Okay, never mind. We're out of stone. Let's go and get some stone first. I gotta find some fucking boulders. And of course, oh, there's my torches. Bear burgers. You know what? I've never had bear before. I have no idea what bear tastes like. I like bison and stuff. Bison is good, but I'm almost thinking bear would be a little gamey, like a little tough. Those motherfuckers are tough, so. Oh, you know what? We should also grab a shovel and grab like fuck, we're out of stone. Make a shovel too and find some clay before nightfall. We have an hour to do all of this. It's because I've been fucking around. Seriously? There's no fucking boulders kicking around? Has this town been mined out for boulders? Is that what's going on? Fuck, whatever. Whatever, I'll hit one of these freaking things. Takes forever to get boulders from these. I have 2 cats and my uncle has 3. He had 5 cats in the house? Holy crap, talk about cat fights. We're gonna crap one of those. We're gonna craft one of those. We're gonna scrap that and actually make a new axe as well too. Because that axe is getting pretty low level now. Alright. Time's at 21:14. We're cutting it close. I ran by a cropping though. So that would be good. You know what? I don't have to worry about stone because I can like hit away at things up top for stone on the overnight. Let's grab the clay so I can get a forge going. That's a little more important at the moment. Here we go. Here's some clay. We only need 50 clay, so we don't need to go too far. How much do we have now? 25? Alright. Another block and we should be good to go with the clay. 52. Okay, awesome. Let's actually start heading back towards home since it's getting pretty dang late. I'm going to take out that bottom ladder as well, too. I love people who are like, why are you using a stone ladder on day 43? Although they can blatantly tell there's a chat running up the side and it's a multiplayer server. Come on, guys. If you got enough, if you played the game enough to try to judge me for using a stone tool on my 3rd day of gameplay, then you should know better to know that this is a multiplayer server. Oh, Jay, I see what's going on there, dude. Apparently I didn't rob that. Rebooting in 19 minutes and 54 seconds. Alright, I'll have to keep that in mind as well, too. Let's put some torches out so our place ain't so dark on the night. I can see those zombies coming at us. There we go. And we're gonna put stuff away. Now the stone, like I said, the stone, if I get bored tonight, I can just hit at stuff like this and get the stone from it. So that wasn't a big deal. What do we have for food? I gotta get my health back up big time. So let's start eating some food. I'm hungry too anyways, so that works. How dare you not be using steel? I know, right? I know. Are you serious? Yeah, is Jay getting a little frustrated? Is Jay getting a little frustrated? Day 43. I play, and by day 14, I have a full concrete base. What's wrong with you? I hate superior fucks. They're the worst gamers out there, period. And then, like, you ask them and they play on, like, 2-hour day cycles. And then there's you on, like, 40 minutes. That is so good. A diamond set and a diamond sword. Oh, that's funny. And like it's Minecraft, right? You know what? Time to walking KO for that shit. Yeah, I like starting over. That's why I don't mind like the wipes during experimental. They're actually not that bad at all. Ooh, I gotta get rid of some of my clothing here. I'm gonna put that black suit jacket away. Let myself get a little wet. And oh yes, we need to get how much? I think it's 50 for the forge. You need 50 stone for the forge. Yeah, it's 50 stone we need for the forge. So I'm gonna have to go and like bang on some concrete and stuff and get it done. Hopefully we get no spawns up here while I'm doing this. I'm gonna have to like replace the whole roof. I wonder what's in here actually. Let's break into this room and see what's going on. Break through this door. It'll take a minute, but whatever. We got all night, right? This conversation is killing me. Oh, it goes insane. Like my chat just goes insane. After we get about 300 viewers plus in this stream, it goes to madness. Absolute madness. Nice. Yes, this coffee is really delicious. I enjoy my coffee in the morning. 7 days to coffee. Oh, we went to town on that in the Discord the other day. Actually, my Discord channels all say coffee still. I gotta go and fix that up. Okay, so does this actually lead anywhere? No, it's just an edge up top. That's okay. I can stand in here and actually get out of the rain, because I hate that fucking sound. And we may as well just kind of like bash at the wall a bit.
Funny guy, huh?
There we go. It's gonna take a little while, but we'll get some stone from it. In this case, actually, I can start catching up with some stuff here. Sorry, guys. The follows don't come up live for me for some reason now, so it takes me a minute to catch up on them. Melanie Lovingsheimer and Mark Stevens, welcome to the channel. You two, Quanet Abrams, and Aaron Harjo, Dill, and Survival. Welcome to the channel, guys. Oh, by the way, thanks for blowing up my base last Saturday. Who were you on the server, dude? Sorry, I was killing this nasty bug with bug spray.
Get this guy, funny guy.
I love watching people like walk around with a can of bug spray killing bugs. It's like, oh my god, just use a spoon. A spoon is a very effective bug killing device. James Riley, welcome to the channel, dude. Thank you for the follow. We have like people just repeating the line now for the update. That's funny as hell. And if you guys haven't done so yet, hit that like button, guys. Sharing the video, adding this video to your playlist. It all helps promote the stream to new people.
Get this guy, funny guy, huh?
Madness, this is Sparta. Yes. What do we got here? We got another follow. I have no idea how to pronounce that, but welcome to the channel, man. Is that Russian? That looks like Russian. Is Russian and Ukrainian two different languages, or are they the same? Do they speak the same language? Like, I'm ignorant on that one. I really am, because I've seen a lot of that, like, type in Ukraine photos, as well as Russian photos. Do you guys speak the same language? Is that what that is?
This guy, funny guy, huh?
Dave Pop console is updating now. Go check. Dave, you asshole. Oh, that's fucking funny. Oh man, you just triggered like half my stream. Thanks, Dave. Grant Bell, welcome to the channel, dude. Thank you for the follow. Hey, Missy G, good to see you again. I just picture Skippy running around killing bugs with a spoon. I have, dude. I have. It's actually really fun to kill bugs with a spoon. Don't knock until you fucking tried it. We do not put up spam, self-promo, or people just being plain rude here. Yeah, guys, we're an adult community made up of adults. We can be really immature with our joking and stuff, but there are lines. And if you do wish to join our community, we just ask that you act as adults as well, too, right? You know what I mean? Like, spamming's not funny at all. It's just not. I don't understand what you guys get out of it. We got another follow here. What's going on? Isaac Titus. Titus. I'm sorry, Isaac. I'm so sorry, man. That must drive you crazy. Welcome to the channel, man. Oh, Jaybird just dropped $20. Holy shit, man. Sorry, everyone. I forgot you can see my server chats. Yeah, Jay's like raging out on the server. That's funny. Thanks for the $20 drop, man. Much appreciated. Holy fuck, man. I'm gonna make you go broke, dude. You gotta stop. Joshua and Blake, welcome to the channel. Thank you for the follows. You're pretty much paying my wages here, Jay. Okay, how much do we get from that? This has been forever. Okay, we still only need 10 more to make that forge. Tonight's about banging walls and making forges, guys. I'm hitting this fucking concrete wall with the goddamn stone axe. I'm gonna go take a break. I'll see you guys in another half an hour. Everyone is running the check for the console download. Could you imagine, actually, personally, I know it sucks, but personally, I'm really glad that the console update didn't drop on Tuesday, because holy fuck, like, I'm doing console and, oh, look at all the paint come off. That was cool. Did I get a bonus from that? No, I didn't. Well, more banging. Because it's like, this Tuesday I'm really happy with. I'll have a little bit more time to start a Let's Play. But it would have been complete madness this week if I had to do like both at the same time. Just absolute complete madness. Alright. The Walking K. Welcome to the channel, dude. The reason you got time dealt, man, is because you're asking people to buy you stuff. Like I said, you can chill out with us. You just gotta act like us. His name was Bob. One of us. Who doesn't like banging walls? That's a good point. It is kind of fun banging walls. Especially with a sledgehammer. I love bringing things down. If you guys haven't checked it out, I actually made like a real life video of a building being torn down here locally. It was a blast to make. I had so much fun with it. I eventually want to branch out into like real stuff, like video logs and stuff like that. Like not your typical video log where it's like, here, watch me go do cool stuff all the time. More of like real life video logs, right? So yeah, I'm kind of coming up with that kind of stuff too. So you might see my channel, my stuff kind of merged together with two different types of videos. If that triggers you, you don't want to see like video logs and stuff on a gaming channel. Like I said, you can either A, not watch the video, B, unsubscribe. Either way, really doesn't hurt us in the end. What I simply do is I'm subscribed to a lot of channels. If I don't like the video, I just simply don't click on it. Because as soon as you click on that video and go out of your way to hate the video, you're promoting the video. So you're only actually really helping the content creator. What can you do with dukes? Dukes are... okay. Dukes are what you earn when you are active in the stream chat. So if you're active once every 3 minutes in the stream chat, you earn Dukes. And what we do, you know what? I'm going to do a giveaway here today. We're going to do a $20 giveaway. Thanks, Jay. I'm going to toss that $20 back at you that Jay gave us. We're going to do a $20 giveaway. It'll be in Canadian funds because I refuse to use GTA anymore. G2A, I mean. Oh shit, I thought that was a zombie. And the cards I buy here are Canadian, but they work. Like if you were to use them in any other country, it would just get translated over to your funds. So what we're going to do before I end the stream today is we'll do another giveaway for a $20 card. Where is my Bellows? Hello, Bellows. Let's craft that shit up. Nice. Now we have a forge going on. It's pretty fucking sick. And I can use the gas. Fuel it up. It's awesome. I'm actually going to go ahead and eat this as well, too. Try to get the health up a little bit. Because I can't find freaking pills. I love this new balance, though. I love this new balance. It's freaking amazing. It's perfect balance for a game. Oh, 21 raw meat. Let's cook that up as well. There we go. Oh, you know what? I can just use this coal that's sitting in here. 4 minutes, 58 seconds. Whoops. Ah, whatever. It's 7 wood. Is my forge done? 5 seconds. Yay! Got ourselves a forge going now, too. Fucking awesome. Alright, forge. What you got for us? Nice. So, let's actually start forging our stuff into that. We got only a little bit of clay and only a little bit of iron, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll get that going into it, and then go during the daytime and get some more raw supplies. I'm gonna stick these gas barrels in there too to get it going. This will burn forever. 180 minutes. Bam. We'll just put one in there. There we go. We really don't need more than that at this point in time. And now I can like feed all my junk stuff into the forge as well too. Like these 4 cooking pots. I can put that into the forge. Once that clay gets in there. Oh shit, it's daytime. Alright, we're out of here, guys. We're going to go and do some more collecting. So I'm going to turn that off. We're going to turn that off. And we are going to head out. Let's blow this popsicle stand. Oh wait, where's my, I need to make a few more frames. To go around the outside of that place. Oh, look at this, guys. Arches. 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 I love the fucking arches. That is like one of my favorite additions, I think, to Alpha 16. For the building, at least, is the arch stuff. You can't see any dukes? You do exclamation mark dukes to check your dukes, man. Okay. Oh, I made arches by accident. Oh, well, you know what? I'm actually going to, yeah, look at that. Look at, oh, no, you know what? Maybe it wasn't an accident. It was meant to be. It was totally meant to be. There we go. Why did I make 3? Oh, and of course, now I'm cold. Let's go get my dress suit. Put my dress suit on. Guy's such a fucking pansy. I swear. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and wear that. So where is D? So if you want to put something on yourself, you got to do the D. So doing the D, it gets you places. Oh, that's so cool. I love the arched blocks. I never thought in 7 Days to Die we'd see any arched block ever. Or any round block or anything else of that manner, to be honest. Fancy arches. Fancy schmancy. Alright. Fuck, it's been raining for like 3 in-game days now. That's insane. Alright, so we need some clay. We need some boulders. So let's go look for some outcroppings here, guys. And I'll catch up on those follows as well. Tuna Plays, welcome to the channel, dude. Thank you for the follow. Okay, we're gonna head east here. Let's head east. And if you guys haven't done so yet, hit that like button. Helps promote the stream. Starbucks run. Starbucks. Okay. This should actually have a whole bunch of hay in it, unless someone stole it all. Like me. It's probably me that came in here and stole all the hay. Actually, you know what? I don't think I came into this one, to be honest. No, but someone did come in here and steal all the hay. That's funny. Sten Steve, welcome to the channel, man. Thank you for the follow. I do hope you enjoy the content. The one thing I do appreciate, too, is that when you're inside now, the rain sound goes away. It never used to do that. That's newer, too. Oh. I was a little too gung-ho on that one. Drop me some shoes, buddy. I need some fancy shoes. No shoes. Damn it. Oh well, you can only be so lucky, right? Yeah, we're gonna head east here and look for some rocky outcroppings. I can't full screen a chat, or is that not a thing? Robbie, that is why, part of the reason why I have the chat up on my screen as well too. And even if you're re-watching the stream video, it makes it very watchable because now you know what I'm replying to, right? That's why we throw it up there for you guys, especially for the people who watch on mobile as well too. Because there is a function to do a full screen chat, but it's like honestly absolutely garbage.
Get this guy, funny guy, huh?
Oh look, there's everything we need in this one spot. There's clay, there's rocks. It's perfect. Rebooting in 2 minutes. Alright. No adulting allowed. Crooked, welcome to the channel, dude. Thank you for the follow. Are you seriously taking off, dude? Have a good one, man. Thanks for stopping in. It was good having you here, man. I'll see you over on the Discord side, dude. And if you guys do want to become part of our community, definitely hit up the Discord and come chat to us there. Hollow-hearted. I know. I know. I know. I know. I know. Ah, again. I'm gonna dent the fuck out of this thing by the time I'm done with it. Jay, we actually figured out how to fix the zombie problem, dude. For some reason, the server thinks there's hundreds of zombies on after a while. It like gets jammed up. And what we have to do is kill all command, and it clears out all the zombies that are there. It's really weird, but at least we have a patch, fix for it for now until the fun pimps actually fix it. Watching Skippy sipping my coffee is now my daily fix. Coffee's delish. Sweet. Okay, I'm actually out of coffee now. That's kind of disappointing. It's you know what? Why? It's because it's 2 hours and 11 minutes. We've actually gone over on this stream. I'm probably actually going to be shutting her down here soon, guys, and we'll do that $20 giveaway. I'll have to actually run out to the corner store after this to get that $20 card, so you won't be getting it right away. It'll either be a $20 Steam, Xbox, or a PS4 card, depending on what platform you're on. You know what? Server reboot, perfect time to do it, guys. Perfect time to do it. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and exit. We're gonna go to the cam full screen, and you guys are about to witness a little bit of coffee in the corner of my mouth there. We're about to witness a whole shitload of spam. Okay, so I'm going to set this up here, and we're going to go ahead and do our giveaway for a $20 card. Why not? Giveaway. Okay, here we go. $20 Steam, Xbox, or a PS4 card. And the raffle command is going to be exclamation mark Jaybird. There we go. Yeah, this one goes out to Jay, dude. This one's pretty much from Jay anyways. Everyone can enter. The entry cost is 3 dukes each. You can enter as many times as you have dukes. So every time you enter, it's 1 raffle ticket. So you have to enter multiple times. Yeah, it gets insane. Like the spam just flies up the fucking screen when this happens. And we will let that go for 3 minutes. So 3 minutes. Entry cost is 3. You can enter as many times as you want, and you should already see it in the stream chat. There you go. You guys got 3 minutes to get her done. We're about to see some major spam going on. DGN, dude, that's not the spam I was fucking talking about. You will still get muted for that. There we go. Perfect. You guys got it. You guys got it. You're on it. I'm actually gonna go ahead and we are gonna go back into the server here. I'm thinking I'm gonna be changing the password today as well too, just to keep you guys on your feet. Because right now we only have this server open to people who are active members of the community because we're in experimental. And we do not have a hard time filling up the server at all with a password on it. So come stable, we'll open it up again without a password. But for right now, if you do want to get on the server, you have to be part of our community. If you're just joining right now, you're probably like, what the fuck is going on right now? You guys have to do it in lowercase. I do believe it is actually case sensitive, just as a heads up. Cool stuff. So we're going to grab up some stones here. Maybe grab some clay while we're at it. And broken down. Nice. Let's grab some more clay while we're waiting. I like clay. It's really easy to gather, and you don't really have to gather that much of it. Oh, I guess if you're making cobble, yeah. But you know what? Maybe I should do flagstone and upgrade it to cobble. That's cool now. I like how they changed that upgrade pattern. It actually makes a lot more sense. I do agree to switch up the password. Yeah, because I only want them being on the server right now if you're an active part of the community. A, because I need your feedback on how the server's running. And B, well, these guys have earned it. They've been around since like early Alpha 15, right? So, and if this server goes well, I may look at launching a second server as well too. We'll have 2 servers running. But building the admin team is the toughest part of it all. Having the appropriate amount of people and the appropriate people as admins, that could be a big challenge as well too. We still got 30 seconds here, guys, on the giveaway, and then I will do the drawing. So, guys, now that you heard this, please stop spamming the chat, because it's definitely going to be time by the time you hear this. It'll be over. I'm still going on, and there's only 16 seconds left. So, Stephen Lewis, like, holy chat. Yeah, we're doing a giveaway right now, dude. Everyone's just entering the giveaway. All right, awesome. And look at that, we have a last minute follower. Sad Abdul Jabber.
Funny guy,
Extreme Crypto Database. John Johnson. Welcome to the channel, guys. Thanks for the follows. They're not live updating me for some reason. So, okay, guys. Please stop. Please stop now. There you go. Please stop. Please stop. Okay, I can actually exit this and we'll do the giveaway here. All right. We're gonna draw the winner, and the winner is Mr. Paul McBay. All right, Paul. Tell you what, dude. Drop your email in the chat, and we'll grab that up, Paul. Yeah, there you are. Oh wait, is that? Oh, I think I know who you are. What's your name on Discord, dude? You're on Discord, right, Paul? Now I know your real name, but I recognize your picture.
Get this guy.
I've seen you around before. If I know you, I'll just message you on Discord, man. Okay, guys, stop with the fucking spam already. Seriously, we already called the winner. All right, I'm trying to catch the winner's information. Okay, so if anyone spams after this point, guys, just time them out. Mater, that's right. Okay, hit me up on Discord, dude, and I'll hook you up with that code. All right, guys. Anyways, thank you for coming out for another stream. It was an absolute blast. You guys have fun spamming the shit out of my chat. That's the only time that's acceptable to spam my chat is when we do giveaways and stuff. So, anyways, guys, I'm gonna take off here. It is beautiful out. I'm gonna go out and visit some friends, enjoy some more sun, and maybe get some fishing done today. But yeah, guys, stay classy. always survive. I'll see you guys on my community on Discord. And yeah, have a good one. Peace.
Get this guy.